Did you know that Australia made the world's first polymer banknote? So in 1988, Australia came out with the world's first polymer banknote. If you're not familiar with polymer, it's a plastic type material, which means that these banknotes can go through a washing machine. You can jump in the pool with a bit of cash in your pocket and it won't end up turning into paper mache. So it was a very, very big breakthrough in terms of the history of currency. So I think it's very exciting to have Australia on, the global map in terms of development of currency-related technologies. So the problems that this banknote was solving, there were quite a few of them. One, I guess first and foremost, was the issue of counterfeiting. People making fake banknotes and passing them out as genuine. So developing more advanced technology made it far more difficult to replicate these particular banknotes. One of the major things, and also there was a bit of an issue with this particular feature, is an OVD. This is also known as an optical variable device. So this is the hologram type image of the portrait of Captain Cook, and the first issue of these particular banknotes had issues with them. The quality of them was not very robust, so there was issues with the hologram flaking and coming apart, which, as you can imagine, wasn't a great look when when Australia was boasting this great new technology and all these developments, to then have one of the major security features falter quite quickly was not a great look. But they did reissue the banknotes in October of 1988 and they amended that issue, so they were looking much better. On the obverse of the note, we have an image of the HMS Supply, which relates to the First Fleet in 1788, and then on the reverse we have an image of a young Indigenous Australian, and just behind him is a Morning Star pole. There was a little bit of controversy surrounding the use of this image, as, surprise, surprise, the appropriate permissions were not sought in order to reproduce this image. So a little disappointing that was not done in the appropriate manner, but just another little tidbit for you on this particular banknote. So the serial numbers on these notes can get a little confusing, and an easy way to identify if you have a note that's part of the first issue is the third and fourth serial numbers. So if you have a 93, 94, or 96, the note that you have is part of the first issue. All others will be part of the second issue. So this is the reissue with the improvements to the OVD aspect of the note. So I have here about 20 of these banknotes, varying in quality. They're all what I would describe as middle of the road, just sort of average. They're not terrible in terms of quality. They probably range from very fine up to about uncirculated. But I'll be selling them all for the low price of $15 each. So if you'd like to get yourself a piece of Australian currency history, you can click the link in the description and get onto it. So an interesting story. They were in development for a number of years. You can also find some really early test notes that the CSIRO produced in the 1970s. So it was a very lengthy process and a big undertaking, for the government to effectively overhaul all of the currency and, develop this new technology, which has been adopted by a number of other countries. And the CSIRO continue to update the Australian currency and add new security features and things like that. So it's very interesting. I think Australia, it's I just live here. I don't actually develop the currency, so it's not really, tooting my own horn. But I think they do a really great job with this type of technology, and it's really interesting. Every time I get, the new banknotes or see these old banknotes, it's really fascinating. I always take the time to have a good look at it and appreciate how much time and energy went into producing these and developing this technology. So let me know what your thoughts are. If you live in a country that doesn't have polymer banknotes, would you like to see it implemented? Or if you do, what do you think of it? Let me know in the comments, and if you like the video, please like it, and if you really like it, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. So after filming this video, I had a little bit of a a reflection on some of the things that have happened in Australian history and the impact that colonialism has had on Indigenous Australians. And I decided that something that I would like to do with this particular banknote, given the history and the theme of it and things like that, is I've decided to donate all of the profits to the Healing Foundation, which is an organisation who go out of their way to assist members of the Indigenous community, and specifically people who have been victims of the stolen generation, which is something that you can do a little bit of research on if you don't know anything about. And I think it's a really worthwhile cause, and it's just something that, after thinking about it, it's really important and something that's worth making a donation to, and I think this is an appropriate way to do it. So if you buy any of the banknotes listed in the description, all of the profits will be going towards this organisation. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.